Hi friend, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Aziz Salami, a medical student studying at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine in New York. I explore topics about productivity, time management, and how to achieve your goals in life. So today I wanted to talk about something that has really been eating my heart for so long. I wanted to talk about happiness. Deep down, many of us feel that we are not as happy as we could be. We feel stuck living a life we don't want. We feel ashamed for past mistakes, uncertain how to let them go. We feel caught in cycles of addiction and dependence, wanting desperately to move on but always seeming to fall back. We worry about the future despite knowing it does little beyond adding to our anxieties. Unfortunately, simply understanding that you are unhappy isn't enough. You need to understand the root cause of your unhappiness to move on with your life. Recently, I have been really unhappy with my life. Even though I have accomplished, so far, the dearest of my dream, which is getting to medical school here in the United States, I feel stuck sometimes. I feel behind because of my age. And while I don't claim to understand everybody else's unhappiness, having worked as a behavioral health specialist in psychiatry for 5 years, I have gained some insight into the basic pattern of unhappiness. But these patterns can be difficult to see because they exist on a barely conscious level, the level of core beliefs. Core beliefs are rules or operating instructions for our lives. They are often established very early in childhood and rarely identified or updated, which means we end up carrying them into adulthood along with all the emotional baggage they contain. In the rest of this video, I will introduce you to 3 of the most common core beliefs that are at the root of many people's unhappiness, including myself. If you can learn to identify them in your own life, it's possible to find a level of happiness you may never have known possible. Needing to feel good to do hard things is the first common belief that's preventing a lot of people from being happy. Motivation is a funny thing. When you've got it, when you are energized, enthusiastic, and really feeling it, it's like you can do anything. Go for a run at 5 a.m. in the morning, no problem. Studying all day without stepping out of your apartment, good, right? But when you are not feeling motivated, when you are feeling sluggish, lazy, and uninterested, it is as if you can't do anything. Literally getting out of bed and into the shower feel like a Herculean effort of will, and reading a single paragraph for your next exam become a chore. For better or worse, motivation is a powerful force in our lives. It can push us to literally achieve our wildest dream, and its absence can discourage us from taking even the tiniest step toward them. But here's a little secret most people don't know. Your motivation problem has nothing to do with motivation itself and everything to do with your belief about what motivation is. Most people believe motivation is a gift, something the universe generously bestows on us from time to time and more frequently withholds. They believe that with this gift they are capable of great things, but without it they are destined to mediocrity or failure. Of course, it is true that occasionally we do feel hit by motivation and unexpectedly energized to take difficult action. Happy people believe that motivation is built, not bestowed. That means it is something largely under their control. They know that the best way to accomplish their most important goals and aspirations, from losing weight to building a satisfying marriage, it is to generate a steady stream of motivation for themselves by doing difficult but meaningful things regardless of how they feel. You need to prove to yourself that it is possible to do difficult things without feeling motivated. And like any difficult challenge, you need to start small and work up gradually, building your confidence along the way. So the second most common core belief that's really killing people's happiness is that I need to be tough on myself to be successful. Many people grow up believing what I call the drill sergeant theory of motivation. This is the idea that in order to achieve anything significant in life, from good grade to football championship, we have to be tough on ourselves. And usually this takes the form of harsh and judgmental self-talk. For example, after getting an A- on a test, instead of the A+ I had hoped for, I usually just immediately start kicking myself, saying, oh, I knew I should have studied for that extra hours, so I'm lazy, or I better get my act together, or I will never get into medical school. Or perhaps following a rough day with a kid, you start berating yourself for being a lousy mom. Why can't you just be a little more patient, you told yourself. Or if you were a better mom, they probably wouldn't be acting out so much, and all of this will be way easier. When your core belief is that success only comes from being tough on yourself, it's easy to fall into the habit of negative self-talk and all the depression, anxiety, and misery that goes with it. But here's the thing, successful people are a success despite their negative self-talk, and not because of it. How do I know this, you may ask me? While I was working as a behavioral health specialist in psychiatry, I have attended to some really high achieving folks who believe unfailingly that they need to be hard on themselves or they will lose their edge. But the price they pay for this belief is really steep, a near constant inner monologue reminding them of how they are not good enough and never work hard enough, which is crushing them with anxieties and stress. This extreme self-criticism has really affected me as well, especially my studies. But for me, the solution was quickly found. I encouraged myself to experiment in small ways at first, with giving up this belief that if I'm not hard on myself, I will stop achieving and being successful. The results are quite striking. I have never actually performed worse because I stopped beating myself up. In fact, the vast majority of the time, my performance and happiness increases sharply. I realized that not only my fears of losing my edge unfounded, but actually I have much more energy and enthusiasm to channel into my studies and lives when I'm not stuck under the weight of chronic self-judgment. The third core belief that's really crippling people's happiness is needing to be successful to be lovable. Of all the destructive core beliefs that hold us back from happiness, this one is the most tragic and possibly the most common. For all the very real benefit of living in an achievement-oriented culture, there is a serious psychological side effect most of us don't ever consider. We tend to bind our self-worth to our success, especially our material success as defined by other people. From cradle to grave, we are taught that hard work pays off and will lead to success and then happiness. We are nudged by all sort of well-intentioned family members, teachers, friend, and mentor to go to the right schools and get the right career so we will become successful and then happy. The problem is, as kids, we internalize this message to mean that we are only worthwhile and lovable if we are successful. Working hard to be successful is an admirable aspiration, but believing happiness only follows success is deeply misguided. This is a truly tragic way to go through life, believing that you are only worthwhile if you are successful. When I was a pre-med in college, I always believed getting into medical school and becoming a successful neurosurgeon is the only way to be lovable and happy. But being a neurosurgeon doesn't make you very happy if you hate being a neurosurgeon, no matter how many people think it's impressive. Don't get me wrong, I'm really grateful that I'm in medicine and that I will be able to provide healthcare and help others during the toughest time. But while being a neurosurgeon or an emergency doctor will certainly play a role in my happiness and self-worth, it's dangerous for me to depend entirely on it. When you are so driven and obsessed with achievement that you fail to develop other sources of self-worth, you fragilize your identity. The solution is not to stop working hard. It is to diversify your identity. You wouldn't put all your retirement saving into a single stock, because if that one company fails, there goes all your retirement. Instead, you diversify, you put your money in bond, index fund, maybe some real estate, or perhaps invest in some private businesses. For me, it's writing, making YouTube videos, or creating blogs. Genuine and lasting happiness comes when we have a robust and flexible sense of self. So to build this, I think you may have to cultivate meaningful friendship, develop a passionate hobby or side project, make time to give back, volunteer or mentor those who are less fortunate. Become active in a cause, charity, or a political organization you believe in. The possibilities for self-worth are limitless. The only mistake is not to explore them. So, in conclusion, all you need to know is that chronic unhappiness is often the result of destructive core beliefs, semi-conscious roles usually established in childhood that strongly influence our choices and behaviors. By learning to identify and update these old core beliefs, we open the door for a happier, more fulfilling life. Happiness comes from doing difficult but meaningful things, no matter how you feel. You have been successful and will continue to be despite your negative self-talk. So don't let this negative self-talk stop you from going forward in your life. If you have enjoyed this video so far and you have enjoyed other videos that I have made on this channel, please consider subscribing to make the channel grow and also to make our family bigger. I'm going to be uploading more videos frequently, so just click on the notification button so whenever I upload a new video you are notified. Thank you and thanks.